So I've taken some time to fill in the shadows, smooth them out, and make some corrections on the shapes and sizes. Even some of this line I changed, and some of this thumb, and some of this outside line. I changed because after filling in shadows, I could see a little bit better what I have. And so I made everything pretty smoothed out. You can see that some things are a little bit fuzzy here. Why would I do that? I want to get it as clean as possible. But if you look over here, it's going to be fuzzy anyway. But I paid special attention to certain lines. I tried to get this one very sharp along here because on our model, it's very sharp along here. It's not sharp along here, so I didn't worry too much about it here. But on this line, I made it very sharp because this side is the sharper side. This side, shadow side, not so sharp. Try to get it the right size, right shape, but I try to pay attention to special points around in the drawing. And so, as you can see here, all I've done is indicate the shadows, but I still don't have midtones in here. And you can see a big difference over here. A lot of midtones, especially right in there. There's midtones all along the edges of these shadows, but right in here is the big block of midtones. So you can see on my drawing here that all I have indicated is light and dark, no midtones. As we put in the midtones, it's going to be lighter than the shadow, and we're going to look at just the whole area here as all midtone. Now there is some variation in there, but in the beginning we're not going to indicate all that variation. We're just trying to get the lay of the land first, get it to be, once you put in the midtones, you'll be able to see shapes better also. And so you may need to do a number of corrections once you put in the midtones that you couldn't see before. And so that's why you don't want to get too nuanced with your midtones right from the start, because you may have to change a number of things first. So I'm just going to block in all the midtones. Even this entire bump is practically all midtones in there. There's almost no light, just a little bit up there. So I'm just going to block these in like that. And then I want to show you one little point before I stop the camera and finish all the midtones. If you look at this spot in particular, there's a little bit more light here, but this light is not as bright as this light over here. But it is brighter than everything that's around. You'll also notice that on this side of this dimple, it's very, very soft as it transitions from the shadow into the light. But on this side, where there's a little bit of light catching, the cast shadow is causing somewhat of a sharp edge along there. It's not very sharp. It's not as sharp as over here, but it's the sharpest line in the area. There's the brightest spot in the area, even though it's not bright compared to here, 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 etc. So when we indicate that part, make sure that you pay attention to the sharpness of that edge there, that you blow the form around it so that you don't have any confusing sharp edges anywhere near it. You want to make sure that you indicate that that one is the sharpest. So already by being sharpest, it's starting to stick out more. It's starting to draw attention to that area. And so you realize you don't have to go much lighter. Since our drawing isn't really darkened down yet, I may not brighten that at all right now, because I know that everything else is going to get a little bit darker around that area. And as it darkens in, I'll just leave that as a brighter spot. Now you can see, since I put in these midtones, it's going to force me to push down the shadows, because my shadows are starting to disappear here. So again, this one has a sharp edge here, less sharp over here, and then it gets really soft up at the top. So that's how I'm going to indicate it. Over here, not as sharp. This one really is the sharper one right in there. Now I already, I'm going to have to make some adjustments on the drawing to make that fit properly. But that's quite all right. All right, so as I start bringing these down, I'll have to bring all of this into harmony with it and keep it clean as I go along. I want it clean because I don't want messiness to distract me from where the corrections need to be made. A clean drawing, you can see where the corrections need to be made. A messy drawing, everything looks about right. And so you never make the proper corrections in the proper time. So from that, I will bring the values a little bit closer to here. I'll finish all the midtones, and I'm going to pay attention to my edges.